Good morning, YOGATXers, or afternoon or evening. So wonderful to be here. I invite you into my beautiful little cabin here in San Jose del Pacifico. I'm back in the mountains here in Mexico. It's gotten very hot, very, very hot. And what I have come to notice lately is that my human gets very agitated in very, very hot environments. So I have escaped to the mountains to check back in with myself. So that being said, today's practice is one of self-resourcing. And if you've never heard this word before or this concept, this has been such a game changer for me in my life. Last year was a tough year. I think we all had challenging years. Every year, no matter when you watch this video, I'm sure you can relate to having a challenging year. And what I learned, like the biggest piece of advice that I really learned and that I held on to from different mentors and therapists in my life was always coming back to self, always coming back to your center and knowing how to come back to yourself. And that is self-resourcing. So when things get really challenging, that we don't depend on others. Sometimes we might need to, but that we find the resiliency and the strength within ourselves to always come back home to our bodies, to our hearts, to our minds. And for it to be a space of an allyship, you know, like that these are our allies, that our mind becomes our ally, that our heart becomes our ally, that our body becomes our ally. And for so many of us, like when we are stressed, when we have anxiety, when we're having health issues or there's depression, we turn away from ourselves. You know, we create chronic pain in our bodies. We have, you know, mental fluctuations that just take over, that we're not really able to be present with ourselves anymore. So today's practice is about coming home to yourself. It's about self-resourcing. It's about when the going gets tough, that you get going and that you take care of yourself and that you show up. And so that being said, I encourage you at any point in the practice, if you need to just come into child's pose or Savasana, this is a form of self-resourcing. Find your own edge. You're your best teacher. This practice is just a practice of offering. This is something that helps me come home to myself, but what helps you could be different. So modify, amplify, and enjoy yourself and breathe. So let's start in a seat. Let the shoulders relax. And we just come into our Ujjayi breath, so equal inhalations and exhalations through the nostrils. And not forced. Let the brow relax, let the jaw relax. And let the breath travel from the belly up to the chest. So deep, deep belly breaths. Your belly bellows out like a big Buddha belly when you inhale, and it comes up through the diaphragm, the rib cage, and up across the chest. And let these breaths be rejuvenating and revitalizing. I have a refrigerator here in my little cabin. You stay with your breath, really pulling that breath in nice and big, and I'm gonna just turn it off. Continue to breathe. Our breath really allows us to arrive. We might notice that we've never taken a full breath, that we are constantly taking these shallow breaths in across the chest. So let this be big and expansive. And take your time with it. Nice long inhalations, nice long exhalations. One of the most important things that we can do, the useful things that we can do when we are feeling challenged or under-resourced, is just shutting the eyes down and coming back to breath. And take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. And exhale to the heart center. Inhale, reach. And exhale to the heart. And kids playing outside. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bring hands down to the knees. You can open the eyes. And we're gonna pull at the front of the knees. Take an inhale, pull the chest forward, look up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, lean back. Inhale, forward, open. And exhale, round, chin to chest. Inhale, forward and open. And exhale, round. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to center. Let's cross the right knee, or the right foot, over by the left thigh. Pull the left foot into the right glute. So right knee is pointing up towards the ceiling or the sky. And you're gonna hug the right knee in with the left elbow crease, turn to your right, right hand behind you, or left elbow outside the right knee, open the chest, look towards the right. So twists can be very, very good for coming back into equilibrium in our nervous system. So when we're feeling under-resourced, we have these constitutions that make up our physical being, and there are 3. No matter who you are, you fall under one of the constitutions, and twists are one of the only category of asanas or postures that bring us back into equilibrium, each of us. So all 3 categories are affected by twists. So if you're feeling under-resourced, this is a good posture or set of postures to do. Twists. It helps to detoxify in the belly, releasing any physical gunk or emotional gunk. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring hands down to the side. Let's bring the right knee on top of the left. And the feet can come out a little bit. Make sure both hips sit down. So your knees are probably not going to be stacked directly over each other. That's completely fine. Come onto the fingertips, take an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly fold forward. For some of us, you might not go too far forward. You might have a really, really tight IT band, be tight in the glutes on the right side. It's perfectly fine. So just fold to your edge. For some of you, you might fold deeply down, but again, just fold to your edge. So in this posture, we are beginning to lengthen the IT band. We're stretching, we're making some energy move along the lateral line of the body on the right side here. This is where our gallbladder meridian lies in the lateral line, and this has to do energetically with how we make decisions, so how we show up in decision making. And when we are feeling under-resourced, it might feel really difficult to make decisions. So hopefully this releases some adhesions on this side. Take a deep breath in through the nostrils, deep sigh out of the mouth. Pull the chest down. Bring the right hand over to the right side and stretch your left arm up and over. Get nice and long through the left side. Turn the head up towards the ceiling. So find the length down the left side of your body. Plug your left hip down and continue to breathe in and out of the nostrils. You can even come down to the right forearm if it's available, or if you have a block or a bolster. I don't have any props with me here, so I'm going to stay on my palm. And let's inhale, come back up. You can bring the hands back behind you. And let's just switch sides here. Left foot beside the right thigh, bring the right foot by the left hip. You're gonna hug the left knee in with the right elbow crease, or bring the right elbow outside the left knee, twist and turn to your left side. So again, we're wringing out the belly. I can even hear a little bit of air moving through my system here. So especially in the morning, it's great at night too. maybe not on a full stomach, but really good to do these practices, the twisting practices, to just wring out any emotional gunk, any physical gunk. It's kind of like a massage for the internal organs. Let's come back through center. Bring the left knee on top of the right. Ground the hips. And again, your knees are going to be different on each side. So for here, my left knee really doesn't stack on my right knee, and that's perfectly fine. Find your edge. Come on to the fingertips. Take a nice inhale. Open the chest. And exhale, slowly fold to your edge. And again, it might be very short fold. It might be very deep. My body is getting used to the altitude, so I'm feeling my throat is not used to the cold yet. You know what it feels like waking up in a cabin. I have this beautiful fireplace behind me. I need to build me a little fire to enjoy some warmth. Two more breaths here for each of us. Slowly peel the chest up. Bring the left hand off to the left side, right arm stretching up and over. Get length through your right side body. Look up towards the ceiling. And again, we're getting into that lateral line again, the gallbladder meridian too. So all of these postures help us with our decision making. So in those moments of self-resourcing, even choosing to come to the yoga mat today was a good decision. And slowly come back up through center. Let's uncross the legs and come into a tabletop position, all fours. We're going to take an inhale, let the belly drop, look forward. And on the exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops, look forward. And exhale, round the spine. Take any natural movements. You might want to sweep the hips back to the heels. Might want to reverse that, circle if you do. Anything that feels natural. I like to lift my arms from time to time. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Let's make that 4 to make it even. And last one. And come back to neutral. Tuck the toes behind you and sit back onto your heel. I become a sea of hair and sweater here. So we want to make sure that the toes are tucked, even the pinky toe. Sitting up nice and tall on the heels. Hands resting on the thighs. And this is a wonderful posture for self-resourcing. You're probably not liking it. It's probably bringing up a lot of warmth for you. But when we were more tribal individuals, we walked barefoot, we hunted, we squatted in the grass for long amounts of time. We were connected to the earth. And with the advent of modern society, we're in cars a lot, we're sitting at desks a lot. Our feet do not get the durability, the life that they used to get. And we have so many, most of our meridians and myofascial lines end or begin in the feet. There's a lot of energy that serves to cleanse the energetic field in the body. So when we're doing this practice, this toe stand, the heat that's rising through your ankles, across the shins, up through the legs, this is purifying for your energetic body. Meaning if you're feeling depressed or anxious or stressed. All of a sudden, doing this posture for maybe 2 or 3 minutes after, you might feel this wave of relief, even though during you're like, ah. So give me 5 more breaths. I know I've been talking a lot here to distract you from the feeling, but you got this. And slowly open the eyes, sit up, untuck the toes, sit back onto the heels, bring the hands back behind you and lift the knees. So now you're gonna feel a little stretch here across the top of the feet. It should feel really nice. And come back up, bring the hips over towards the left and down, and stretch the legs out in front of you. If you have a pillow, grab it. I'm gonna take a pillow off my bed here. And we're gonna come into a forward fold. So if you have a really, really tight back line, you might wanna prop your hips up, sitting on something, and you might even wanna bring a pillow under the knees. So you can just pause me and get yourself all propped up here. But we're gonna take a nice inhale, straighten the spine. And exhale, we'll slowly begin to fold forward, and this is where that extra pillow comes in. If you'd like to put it on top of the legs, you can fold onto the pillow. And I'm gonna fold mine in half. And we fold forward. Also, if you notice that your spine is rounding, come up a little bit, straighten the spine, and then fold down. The goal here is to not reach the toes, but to just feel length in the back line of the body. And this posture is beautiful for allowing us to surrender. So as we lengthen the superficial back line here, we get into the kidney meridian. Kidney has a lot to do with fear. So this can help us to feel courageous, to surrender, you know. We bring our heads down away from our environment so we can't see behind us or maybe around us. We trust, we settle, and we allow our bodies to really feel comfortable in this more passive, surrendered state. And stay here for 5 more breaths. And peel the chest out. You can bring that pillow off to the side. And we're gonna stretch down on the mat. We're gonna come down onto the back. So you can slowly bring the hands out in front of you, legs straight, use the core, and slowly fold all the way down. As you get down to the bottom of the mat, pull the knees into the chest. I'm gonna rock from side to side here. When relieving pose, so just allowing the knees to come into your chest. Allow your shoulders to relax, the forehead, the jaw to relax. And take the feet down to the mat. And bring your feet about hip-width distance apart and let the knees drop to the right. So there's space between the feet so you can get a nice opening across the hips here. You can goalpost the arms, look to your left. Just twisting open here. And back through center with the knees, let them drop to the left, look to the right. A nice passive twist. We're still working at massaging those internal organs here in the belly. Come back through center. Stretch the legs up. Hands alongside the body, calling this legs up the wall pose here. And we allow the energy, the blood, to drain back into the vital organ cavity here, into the belly. New energy moving up to the heart. And all that we have to do here is let go, let gravity do its work. And enjoy the stillness and the silence. Notice what comes up in your mind when you're left in stillness. And notice any sensations, like what's coming up for you in your practice. Notice if there is a feeling of lethargy or revitalization. Notice if you feel at home in your body, or if you're feeling a bit detached. If you're feeling detached, really bring your attention back to the physical sensations of your unique experience in your body. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Bend the knees, take the feet down. Lift the hips and sit on the back of your hands. Palms facing the earth. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Press into your elbows. Lift the chest to the heart. And let the head drop back behind you. So we're coming into fish pose, Bhattyasana. And this pose is wonderful for opening the heart at the end of our practice. Really allowing ourselves to feel the support of the earth beneath us, but also with an open heart that is expansive up to the ether, the world around us. And slowly let the head come down, release the arms, take up space. You can grab a pillow for Shavasana if you would like to hug onto a pillow. Since we're doing our self-resourcing today, this is really nice to feel like we're getting a nice hug. So you can hold on to the pillow. You can also bring something heavy over the hips, which can be very grounding, but just take up some space here. And feel the earth beneath you, the solidity here. And let everything relax and surrender into the earth. So Shavasana is not the end, it's the beginning. So how do you feel here in your body in stillness and bits of silence? Do you feel at home? Do you feel anxious? If you feel anxious, hold on to that pillow or focus on the sensation of the earth beneath you. If you feel anxious, focus on the breath. If you're feeling a little sad or distressed, holding on to a pillow can be quite comforting, feeling as if we're getting a nice big hug. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. You can pause the video. We'll probably be only another minute or so here. So if you'd like a longer Shavasana, I encourage you to take it. Can release any props off to the side when you're ready. And take a nice long stretch. Arms get nice and long, stretch the legs long. And pull the knees into the chest, fall over to the left or right side. Take a moment in fetal pose. ready, use the hands to come up to a seat. Sitting up nice and tall. You can take a hold of your prop if you have it, your pillow, and hold it into the chest. Nice big hug. Keep the eyes shut down. We'll stay here for 5 more breaths. Nice big breaths extending from the belly up through the diaphragm across the chest on the inhalation. Nice smooth exhalation. And then when you're ready, you can slowly begin to blink the eyes open. So thank you guys for practicing with me this morning, afternoon, or evening. So this practice is much more slow, a little bit more grounded. Doesn't have all the jazzy postures in it that we might desire, but this is really good for the nervous system. So remember, any moment you're feeling under-resourced, if you're feeling like you're being taken in by the depths of your pain or your frustration or anger or anxiety or too much excitement even, too much joy and ecstasy, come back into the body and focus on the earth beneath you to ground yourself. Focus on, these ways of holding yourself, hugging something, really, really allowing yourself to feel nurtured. Focusing on the breath to bring you back into the present moment. A lot of times when we feel anxious and we're moving very quickly, it's because we're in the past or we're in the future. So to come back to the present moment, breathe deeply and go slowly, slowly, slowly. Lento, 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 as we say in Spanish. Más despacio. So more space. Give yourself more space to be. You hear this quote of, we are not human doings, we're human beings. So do less and just be. And notice, sense, feel, and come back home to yourself. Lots of love from Mexico to you, wherever you are in the world practicing. I hope that you're feeling a bit more resourced, and I hope that this video can be something that you come back to time and time again when things get a little bit more challenging or a little bit excited or a little bit dysregulated, so that we can bring our nervous systems back into that regulation and self-resource and come back home and slow down in a very fast-paced world. So remember to subscribe down below at YOGATX if you want to practice with me or the other wonderful instructors here on this amazing platform. And you can find me on all the networks down below. And also, if you are desirous of learning online or in person, I have retreats and trainings for those who are desiring to dive deeper into teaching. And my website is echofloatyoga.com. So feel free to reach out there. And until next time, have a wonderful day, evening, or night. Mwah.